Hello! It's me, Kyle. This is Give Pause Hobby. I'm taking a break from driving home from drill because I'm really tired. Because I didn't sleep well at all this weekend. So instead of taking a nap, off of the road, I decided to build up my adrenaline by talking about root and about music. So episode 3 of Asymmetric Elements, we have the Moles, the Underground Duchy, and one of my favorite of the 3 titles so far, As Below, So Above. I'm very excited. I would imagine that there is at least a small, if not so small, part of me being really excited about backing Imperial, Spells and Steam, and getting the expansion along with it, As Above, So Below. That's just like rolling around in my head, and I went whoop, because Underground Duchy reclaiming their right to the surface of the forest. So this was the last one we did with the cats was a repurposed portion of Wind's Gathering, the movements from my work for Trumpet. This one was completely new, kind of came from the ether, which is exactly what I was hoping to do with this project. To kind of return to composing by sometimes pulling from things I've done before, other times not, and just sort of going along with what comes to mind. And whenever I've been seriously engaged in a compositional project, there's always a moment at which I've kind of been like planning out what's coming up next. I have a process, I have an idea, and then something just sort of springs up, and sometimes I kind of like push that back down and say like maybe later, but right now we're going to keep to the path we've developed. And other times, like in this case, I just sort of say, you know what? This is what I was hoping would happen. I would take inspiration from something, and let's see where it goes. The hardest part is understanding that at the end of that path might be the realization that you didn't really get anything that was usable. You spent that time, you did that, you put in the work, and you're just not really happy with the product. But still, I'm a firm believer that that time and effort you put in will help in some way, even if that's absolutely not at all an avenue you're going down. The process of doing it is still going to help you out. So what I based this one around was this idea of kind of upward movement, which I think thematically is pretty darn appropriate for the Moles. And the way I demonstrated that was with lip slurs and the harmonic series. So someone, previous one said, please play the trumpet in the car. Please play the trumpet in the car. Boom, I've got it. This is my trumpet. I've been playing it for a while. As you can see, I've worn down the metal on these, the valves and the casing. And so I've had this for a little bit. So the trumpet is really 7 bugles put into one, product. Each bugle is a combination of valves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And with each of those fingerings, the intensity and the speed and the focusedness of the air, you can get a lot of different pitches, which is why when you have a bugler, you can play lots of different tones with the one fingering. Now, what lip slurs are where you are making exercises where you are not changing your fingering, but you're slurring, so you're not re-articulating, going between pitches, it's meant to develop your control and your strength of not just your lungs, but your embouchure, all these little muscles around your mouth. And so the more you practice these lip slurs, the better your ability is to say, that's the note I want and none of the other ones. Because on a woodwind instrument, if you press down a certain, combination of keys, you have a really, really high chance, as long as you're not doing something like really weird with your air or your embouchure or the reed, of getting that one note that you want. Same thing with strings. If you press down the spot on the certain string that you need, and it's in tune, and you're not doing anything weird with your technique, you can draw the bow across and you get the pitch that you want. On a brass instrument, you can press the right fingering all you want, but if you don't put the right air in, you're going to get the wrong note. So when I was writing this for the moles and their kind of upward mobility, what I wanted to show was like increasing range. You know, at first the upward intervals were very close. They were just a semitone or like one note off, and then they were eventually we're slurring up an octave, as we say, and which is not, you know, an easy task. It's something you need to really build up over time. And so this is, you know, most lip slur activities are pretty boring. You take a pattern and you do it over and over again for all the different fingerings. This is taking the idea of lip slurs, or at least like upward mostly, the part of the lip slur, and you know, there's sections that that sort of stuff. So it's pulling from the same skill set as lip slurs, but it's obviously a lot more dynamic because there's, you know, a melody. There's a whole exercise built around this. And what I'm trying to show in the music, like tying it back to the theme, as I'm increasing this range of these slurs, the intervals are getting bigger, is showing that the moles are kind of getting more and more like brave and brazen in their attempt to reclaim, you know, reclaim the surface. And the music says, in an unhurried awakening. So the moles, you know, they're not rushing to, they're not doing anything rash. They are slowly kind of coming up with a plan of how they're going to do this. And sort of as the music gets to be this like more sweeping quality, that's them kind of getting back up to speed. And at the end, it leaves it to, you know, your imagination. Is this, have they seized the surface and they are kind of maybe thinking wistfully about their time underground or simpler times? Did they try to take the surface and they were, you know, sent back underground? It's sort of, you know, has this greater arc of getting up to these big, huge intervals and then working its way back down to the slow, almost mournful, or at least introspective ending. And it's a ton of fun to write. and it's a bit of a weird one. Again, this project was conceived as a bit of a weird lark. Like, we'll see where this goes, and as long as I'm having fun, then I'm heading the right direction. And so far, I guess I'm still heading the right direction. So thanks so much for tuning in again. It's been a lot of fun so far. I have the next one written and recorded. I just need to talk about it and, you know, put it together. I have some ideas for the next ones coming after that. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, and thanks for stopping by to listen. Have a great day, everyone.